afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope everyone is doing okay. It's a little bit cloudy and rainy in London, but yet sunny in the heart, as I always say. So I'm so glad I get to present another mini training for you. This topic is about commitment, one of the topics that I cover in my Purpose into Power program, which will help you to turn your purpose into your power. That's my one-to-one program I do with my clients, and every week on Tuesday 12 p.m. UK time I come live in my Facebook group to serve my community with bits of this program in order for you to keep moving forward in your business. So I'm going to jump straight in. Even though it's a live video, I don't want to take up too much time in the beginning. So everyone who's watching this on replay, we're going to start immediately. And everyone who's watching live, welcome. Let me know who you are. Let me know your thoughts, and let's get cracking into today's mini training. So as I was saying, today I'm going to give you a three-step basic commitment creator that will help you massively to create commitment in different forms in your life or in your business. So it's a three-step that you can use in every area of your life that needs commitment. But before we jump into that, let me introduce myself very shortly for the people who don't know me yet. My name is Meerte. I'm a Dutch entrepreneur who moved to the UK, to London 4.5 months ago to expand her consultancy business, where I guide specifically female entrepreneurs to turn their past pain into their future power, as I call it. So I have one of my programs is called Purpose into Power program, and this 7-step program will help aspiring female entrepreneurs to not only detect their pain, but also to turn it into a powerful business. So if you're watching this video right now, you probably run your own heart-driven or impact-driven business. And what do I mean by that? Well, you either are an entrepreneur who runs her own business that is set up from the heart because you have a passion for it, or you are a leader or a CEO of an organization with a social purpose. That can either be an NGO or a social enterprise, for example, or you are just you're working in a social business. So I have my notes here, so sometimes I look down. The reason I do that is because I want to give you everything that I've been preparing for this training. So sometimes I need to sneak peek if I don't forget anything. So maybe right now you overcame adversities yourself and you're trying to turn that into a business that will serve other people by helping them to prevent them from having the same suffering that you went through. So I'm really honored that you are watching this video right now, because from my own personal experience, I can say that I really believe that that's the future of business. I really believe in purpose-driven businesses that make a difference in this world. So if that's you, you are in the right place. I am here to help you to turn that purpose into a powerful business. So maybe right now you don't have all the resources in place, and by resources I mean network, strategies, money, your team, or even a combination. And maybe because of that you don't see the bigger picture anymore and you feel a little bit stuck. So that's why I'm here to help. As I said, every week on Tuesday, I will help you with the basics of one of the topics that I cover in my Purpose into Power program. Obviously, I can't do it like in the big extent as I do it in my one-to-one clients, but still I hope to give you the nuggets that you need in order to keep moving forward in your business. Okay, so today we're going to talk about commitment. Now, what do I mean by that? Like, a lot of heart-driven or impact-driven entrepreneurs, they do something that really comes from their heart. It's like something that they are willing to fight for every single day, like something that they really believe in, that needs to be told, that needs to be shared, and all of that for the purpose of helping others overcome the same things that they went through themselves. So I really love that. I love working with women who hold so much wisdom inside, and that they want to use that for the purpose of helping others. So I can't say it enough, but I'm very proud of you. So in my Purpose into Power program, commitment is one of the topics, and it comes in different forms. In that program, we not only take a deep dive in your personality, but also in your business, and we cover everything. So I want to say before we jump into the technique is that commitment comes in different forms. That can either be like commitment for yourself in your life. That can be commitment on a personal level. That can be commitment on maybe targets for yourself or for your team. That can be commitment to in your personal life with a partner, for example. So commitment is very wide, and one of the forms that I want to put in the spotlight now is the commitment to your life purpose, the commitment to your calling. And one of my products that I do is a drawing table session, and this is a unique session where we really lay the fundamentals of your personality, like why are you here? And that is a commitment on a deeper level. So the reason I wanted to share it with you is to give you a little bit context around my definition of commitment and how you should interpret this training. So obviously we can do a personal a deep dive in your personality today, but we can look at the different levels of commitment that come with that, and the 3 simple basic steps that you can follow in order for you to create commitment. Either it doesn't matter if it's a small topic or a big topic. If you use this technique, that it will give you massive clarity around it for yourself. Preparing this training, I was thinking, like, isn't it funny that, for example, when you get a job offer or you sign a contract with one of your with one of your partners, would you sign that contract without knowing what the terms and conditions are? Like, what is it that I'm signing? So it got me thinking, why do we do that in life? Why? How can I help you to make you aware of the fact that commitment in your life or in your business is the same as when you, for example, sign a commitment for a new job? You only do that when you agree on the description and the terms and conditions, and you agree on that. So I already gave it away a little bit, but what I'm going to do, in order for you to understand it to the fullest, I want to use a real life example of how I use this technique in my personal life. This technique, as I said, it works for big and small commitments, and it needs tailoring every time. But if you use the structure, see it from a structure perspective. That's what I wanted to say. I'm going to use a real life example when I used this technique a year and a half ago, when it went really fast, but I decided to take in a full-time teenage girl to foster her, because at that moment it was the only thing and the right thing to do for me. I've known this girl for a couple of years, and back then the situation was as for me, and I really felt it was my calling to help her overcome this period in her life. Now, this was a really short decision, so I wanted to do it right, not only for myself but for her as well. So the first step, that is in the first of the 3 steps, is called describe or summarize. So what I did with her, why is this important? Well, if you don't summarize or describe the essence of the commitment that you both are in, then how would you know if you're on the same page? So, and the other thing for me was really important for her to show her that I really care. So I really thought it through. So that was to give someone else the feeling as well that what you're doing, what you're agreeing on, makes sense, is important. So how you position it, so that's the way another will receive it. I will say that again because it counts for really, really various things in your business and in your life as well. The way you position it determines the way people receive it. For example, if I getting notification of my own life. So for example, if I just took her in and didn't make it important that it was important for us to set some common ground, then how could I expect from a 16-year-old that she would think that was important? So by really taking the time to sit down with her, and I prepared our conversation around that, so I could really describe the form of commitment that we were about to enter, and especially for her, because she was confused, she was overwhelmed, she needed guidance, so she needed me to at that moment to give her clarity on what it is that was going to happen in her life, because it's her life. So I felt responsible to guide her through that process. So that was the first one, is summarize, describe what we're going to do. And the second one, and this is a really important one, and I still break my head around that it wasn't, in this specific case, wasn't already covered, but that's another conversation. It's about the second step is terms and conditions. So what can you expect and what can you give? So in the example of my foster daughter, what I did with her was I prepared like a document, basically, where I really thought about, okay, what is it that we're going to do? So describe, and what are the terms and conditions for me that are important, but also what can she expect from me? For example, I was talking about, like, what are my intentions? What are my starting points? What are my no-go areas? What is non-negotiable for me? What are the consequences when you don't follow the rules that I set up with you? And on the other side, I said to her that, what can you expect from me? Like, you can expect me to always be honest with you. You can expect me to always be there for you whenever you need me. You can expect from me that every time you don't understand something or we have a discussion, that we will sit down and I will explain it to you. It's like, I really wanted to give her the feeling that she was safe, and but I'll come to that in a bit, because one of the other things I really felt that in the terms and conditions was good to do is to be vulnerable, to tell her that I open my house and my heart for her, and that this is going to be a place where she's safe. This is going to be a place where she's safe in every single way, that she can always come to me. No matter what, I will never send her away. We would always end the day positive, even though we were in an argument, and an argument is okay. We can have that as long as we keep respect for each other and we talk things through. Then so that was one of the things that I said, and I also decided in that terms and conditions to be honest with her, because she's 16. She's not like 6 years anymore. So your terms and conditions and the way you tailor it, of course, are dependent on the person in front of you. In this case, I also said to her, I'm going to be very honest with you. This is not going to be easy. And this is not going to be fun, as we always had when she was sometimes a weekend with me, where we did only nice things. So I've been very honest with her about everything, basically. What I did after, and that is step 3. So we have like describe is step 1, describe / summarize. 2 is terms and conditions, and 3 is agreement. And this is a step that a lot of people forget to take, and forget to take like consciously. So, but it's very important, and I'm going to give you a real life example with an example from my foster daughter, what happened. So one day I told her, for example, one of my terms and conditions was no contact with boys through Instagram or stuff like that, because she was in a very vulnerable situation. And I don't want to go into it all deep, but I had a reason for that terms and conditions. And she agreed with me on all the terms and conditions. And sorry, I forgot to say, I also asked her if she wanted to edit some terms and conditions as well. So we had like a common document, a common ground to start from. So what happened one day is we were sitting in the car, and I'm going to explain why I tell you the whole context around it. So we were sitting in the car, and she gets a call from an anonymous number. She picks up the phone on speaker, and I heard in the voice of this guy that it was like not good news. I could hear by the way he was saying, he was talking, that it didn't feel good. And so I asked her, hey, is this a guy X? It was someone from her group, and there were some difficulties with him. And she said, no, this is someone else. I said, okay, well, who is it? And she was like, yeah, I don't know, someone I gave my number on Instagram. So at that moment, I felt like my blood rising, because this girl was with me for 3 weeks. I had no idea. The only thing I did know is that I was so happy that I set those terms and conditions, because what I said to her, I said, okay, listen to me. I'm very shocked, and I feel that I'm angry. I'm going to park the car, we're going home, and I'm going to explain to you why I'm angry and what happened. And we came home and I explained it to her, but I had to think, because I set some rules and some terms and conditions, but if I didn't follow them, then she would have taken it seriously either. So long story short, I decided to step up and to really say, this is like, I don't want this. We agreed that this wouldn't happen, and I want you to go to your room because I need to think. And in the meantime, I closed the door. That was my mistake. She didn't felt welcome anymore, and I didn't went up to see her because I was on the phone talking to someone to get some advice on, okay, what to do now, because the situation back then was really fragile. And she walked away. So I said to her, well, if you're going to walk away, then I'm going to follow you and I'm going to call the police, obviously. And I hope you make another decision, that you stay and that we can talk things through, just as we said. And she didn't do that. She walked away, and whenever we talk about it now, she feels really ashamed. I chased her. I couldn't see her anymore, and I was really scared. But this girl was so confused. I can still see her confusing face. And when I saw her, and the police was there as well, and she didn't want to talk to me. She was very mad. She was very angry, and she was like, "You don't love me." And I said, "Okay, well, if I don't love you, then why would I be here?" And so I kept like talking to her and trying to take her back to the terms and agreements that we made. And at one point she agreed that she was open to talk. We were sitting in the house again, and she didn't want to spend the night anymore, and she wanted to go. And this was like a pattern that she was used to, and she always had to do that because there was danger for her. So at that moment, what I realized, what I knew, is that when she was in the car getting that call, she answered it very innocent. So her intention wasn't bad, and it was just that she didn't know. So by knowing that, I could really talk to her on that ground and saying, Melissa, do you remember what we talked about, like one of the rules? And she was like, yeah, I do remember. I said, okay, do you agree with me that you didn't follow that rule? And she said yes. And I said to her, okay, but I know that your intentions weren't bad at that moment. And I said, remember that we talked about, so I had like common ground. I had like something to fall back on because I was talking about terms and conditions with her. And I also said, do you trust me? And she was like, yeah, a little bit. So I said, okay, based on that little bit of trust, would you believe me that it's better if you stay and you will understand tomorrow? Because I had to break her pattern. So commitment works two ways around. So I needed to work on that. And the next morning she came up to me and she gave me a hug and she said, I understand now. And the reason I'm sharing this story with you is to really undescribe the power of the 3 steps. So the describing, so what is it that I'm committing to, or what is it that I want someone else to commit to as well. The second one is the terms and conditions, like for both ways, like for me, but also for her or whoever you are talking to. And the third one is both agree on it actively. What we did is like back then we danced on it, because that's what you do when you're a teenager. It's not always a good idea when you're 34 at that moment, but let's forget about that. So I created like some light for her in an impactful moment. But can you imagine if I haven't done all those steps with her, what would happen if she really walked away? I would have no right to talk to her. I would have nothing to fall back on. So whenever you are facing a situation in your life that asks your commitment, please follow these steps so you always have something to fall back on. So and one other thing I see in my notes, and that's, I want you to remember that commitment holds different layers. So it has different levels of commitment. I'm sharing with you the 3 basic steps, and I'm giving you one example. But remember that all the steps ask something differently in every situation. So if you ever need help with that, or you need some advice, please comment in this video, or send me a private message on Facebook or LinkedIn, and I will definitely reach out to you. And because remember, you are the most valuable resource in your life and in your business, and I'm here to help you take care of that. So anything that I can do to help, please let me know. I hope you enjoyed this. I know it's a little bit was a little bit heavy, maybe the example, but I really think that this is the best way for you to get a grip of what I was trying to say to you guys and teach you today. So I see you on Thursday for a different perspective on this topic. And I am going to make a huge announcement when it comes to something that I decided this week to commit to. And that was, to be honest, like, it was a process. Some commitments take longer to really accept. And I'm going to walk you through on Thursday. And I'll see you next Tuesday, 12 p.m. UK time, for the next mini training. And the topic that I'm going to cover then is people, and then specifically roles, rules, and responsibilities. I wish you a good day for now, and thank you for listening, and see you at the next training. Bye!